All right, so we're going to start off here by going to the GrayTech PowerPack connection vault. Left click on that. The tool palette will open up. Come down the categories along the side till we see platform cover. And in here, we're going to select plate grading grid stiffeners. Left click on that and pick your plate or your grading. And the edge that you initially select is important because that's where you'll be offsetting your plates from. So it also determines the direction of the main plates that come in, or the transverse stiffeners if you prefer. Once the dialog opens up, we start in the properties section. It gives you a little bit information about what the tool is. It's the plate grading grid stiffeners. We also have a section for library where you can save your settings, and about, which tells you a bit about the tool. If we go to transverse stiffeners, from here we can determine what we're using as far as the shapes are concerned. Are they going to be plates or sections? And if you choose sections, you have the option to pick whatever section you want from down here and the size. You can offset from the edge whatever distance you want. And remember, I said the edge is important that you initially select. It'll offset from your selected edge. So you can see I picked this edge here and it's pushing it back that way. So you can offset from the edge. You can set your thickness for your stiffener. And if I type in a value here, you'll see it gets much thicker. So you can choose whatever value you want for your thickness and the height as well. You can see that they grow accordingly. Under details, we can say we want these to be below or above. I'm looking at the bottom right now, but we could put them on the top if we wanted to. And we can determine the spacing based on distance and set our value in here. Quantity, adjust the quantity, or a combination of the two. We can say we want 6 at, and we can change it to example 4 inches. And you can see it'll space them at 4 inches apart and still give you the 6 stiffeners requested. So I'm just going to put it back to distance, and I'll set this a little larger, 8, and we have our stiffeners. For chamfer and length, we can do straight, convex, or concave. So if I do straight here, I can come in and say what I want as far as the chamfer is concerned. And you can see it's adjusting the stiffeners all along one side. And if I come back to the other side here, I'll do the same thing. And it's adjusted along the other side. We also have the option here for offset. So if we were to say I want to offset from the edge 5 inches, you'll see it pulls it in on the other side 5 inches, right? And you can do the same for the near side. Under longitudinal stiffeners, you have the option to add in additional longitudinal stiffeners from plates or from sections. And you can go and you can create these. Set how far from the edge you want them to be. And measured from the edge to the top of the plate, middle of the plate, or bottom of the plate where that first plate is concerned. What is the thickness? What is the height? And so on. Under details, you have in here, do you want them to be divided or continuous? Now, with divided, you're going to get individual plates in between the initial transverse stiffeners. So I can have it divided or continuous. If I were to come in here now, I could do a chamfer, same as before, exact same settings. I'll set both of them. So we'll make the height and width 1 this time. For both sides. And you can see the chamfer that is taking place. But because that these are divided, if I turn this a little, you'll see that every shape is getting that chamfer. They're each individual pieces and each one gets the chamfer on it that I've put in. If I put it as continuous, now this becomes one continuous plate, and if I turn it, you can see There's no chamfer on it, except at the ends. So you have that option as well. Again, you can place the stiffeners by distance, quantity, or a combination of the two, just like before, and set that to whatever you want. It will adjust them. Finally, for welds, you have in here for the transverse and for the longitudinal stiffeners, what is the weld size? What type of weld do you want to use? How is it placed in? Is it placed in the workshop or is it placed on site? And then you can determine in both directions for the plates going in each direction what type of weld size and locations you want them to be placed at. And that is the plate grading grid stiffeners, and that is found in the GrayTech PowerPack connection vault.